In a distant forest, deep in the heart of nature's embrace, there lived a mighty lion, whose roar echoed with power and whose wisdom was as vast as the jungle itself. His name was Ra'ad, which means thunder, a fitting name for one who commanded respect and admiration from every creature under the canopy. Ra'ad was not just strong and fierce, he was known for his sense of justice and his courage. He ruled the forest with a noble heart, ensuring the balance of the ecosystem and protecting the weak. His presence alone was a reassurance, a symbol of strength that kept the forest in harmony. One morning, as the sun dripped golden light through the leaves and the forest was filled with the sweet melody of birds, a faint whimper broke the tranquility. Curious, Rod followed the sound. He moved like a shadow, his powerful paws barely making a sound as he approached the source of the noise. Behind a thick bush, Rod found a small dog. He was thin and dirty, his fur matted and his eyes filled with pain. The dog was clearly hurt and scared, unable to move. His tail, which should have been wagging furiously, was tucked between his legs, and his ears, which usually perked with alertness, were drooping sadly. Rod, known for his fierceness, felt a pang of sympathy. The sight of this helpless creature stirred a gentleness in his heart, a tenderness he had never known a lion could possess. Without a moment's hesitation, he carefully picked up the dog in his mouth, being careful not to cause any more pain. Then he carried him back to his den, a place of safety and warmth. As the dog was brought into the den, he looked around in bewilderment. He licked his chops nervously, unsure of what lay ahead. In that moment, Rod knew that this dog, despite his fear, possessed a spirit that refused to be broken. And in that spirit, Rod saw a reflection of himself, a reminder of his own battles and triumphs. Day after day, the dog regained his strength under Rod's care. The lion, who had never had a pet before, surprised everyone in the forest with his patience and affection. He fed the dog, groomed him, and kept him company. He even let the dog sleep in his den, a privilege usually reserved for his own cubs. The dog, in response to Rod's kindness, became his shadow. He would follow Rod everywhere, his tail now held high with gratitude and his eyes shining with newfound joy. The other animals in the forest watched in amazement as this unusual friendship blossomed. They had never seen a lion treat any creature, let alone a dog, with such warmth and care. Rod named the dog Wafi, which means loyal. It was a name that resonated with the dog's spirit and symbolized the bond they shared. Their friendship became a legend, whispered from one curious creature to another, a testament to the power of kindness and companionship. But their idyllic life was not to last. One night, the forest was filled with the scent of danger. Hunters had entered the woods, and their cruel intentions were like a dark cloud over the forest. Their eyes glistened with greed, and their hearts knew no mercy. Their leader, a man with a cruel sneer and a heart of stone, had a price on Rod's head, a price that would bring a fortune. Unaware of the danger that lurked near his den, Rod slept peacefully. But Wafi was restless. His sharp ears twitched at every sound, and his keen nose sniffed the air, trying to detect the lurking danger. Suddenly, he let out a loud bark, a sound that pierced the quiet night. Rod woke up in a startle. "What is it, Wafi? What do you see?" he asked, his voice a low growl. Wafi, without a moment's hesitation, ran towards the opening of the den, his barks echoing with urgency. Rod, his heart pounding, followed close behind. Outside, they saw a trap, a cruel contraption of wood and metal, set to catch the unsuspecting lion. And in the center of it all was one of the hunter's dogs, a dog that looked a lot like Wafi. In that moment, Rod understood the hunter's wicked plan. They had lured Wafi outside with their dog, hoping to capture him. But Wafi had a trick up his sleeve. With a swift move, he had pushed the lion away from the trap just as the hunters tried to close it. The trap snapped shut, but instead of the lion, it caught Wafi. Roaring in anger and sorrow, Rod broke open the trap. He pulled Wafi out, cradling him in his mouth and rushing back to the den. Days turned into nights as Rod stayed by Wafi's side, refusing to leave the den. He licked the dog's wounds, brought him food, and never lost hope. And just as the first rays of sunlight peeked through the leaves, signaling the start of a new day, Wafi opened his eyes. He looked at Rod, his heart overflowing with gratitude. Their bond, forged in the fires of adversity, was unbreakable. News of their extraordinary bond spread throughout the forest, carrying with it a message of unwavering loyalty and friendship. The forest animals, inspired by their tale, started referring to them as the lion and the dog, a symbol of unity and brotherhood. And so their story became a part of the forest's folklore, a reminder that the greatest strength comes from friendship and loyalty.